CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Good Saturday morning to you, and thank you for watching Public Affairs on Peach. I'm your host, Adam Murphy. Today we're talking about veterans in this country and how they dedicate their lives to protect and serve. They're on the front lines, and when it comes to keeping our country safe, they do the best job they can. But what happens when they return home from a tour of duty? A lot of veterans struggle to regain their place in society. But today, we have some resources that can help. And joining me now on the program is Leslie Olson, creator of a unique nonprofit program, Atlanta Horses for Heroes. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me about this program.
It started in 2008, and I wanted to do something for the returning wounded warriors. My dad was Army, and my husband's in the Navy, and was part of the Gulf War. And so I read an article about, I'm a therapeutic riding instructor, and I read an article in our magazine that they were starting a program for the wounded warriors in Arlington, near the Arlington Cemetery. They were using the caisson horses to help therapeutic riding with the wounded warriors from Walter Reed. So I knew that's what I wanted to do, and it took about a year to get it off the ground, but it's been very successful.
So you're a nonprofit, and this is open to all veterans, right?
All veterans, all wounded warriors. We specialize with the traumatic brain injuries and PTSD, but we've worked with amputees, spinal cord injuries. They have a lot of injuries, but our focus is mainly traumatic brain injury and PTSD.
And how does it help veterans?
Horses are very sensitive to emotions, our nonverbal communication. So when you put a wounded warrior in that has PTSD, they're very anxious, they're very closed off. The horse can read their body language and kind of mirrors what they're feeling. And so it really is eye-opening to the wounded warrior that they have to calm themselves down. Many come in with anger, a lot of anger and anger management issues. And when they come in with high anxiety, the horse reflects that. And so it really, they have to calm down to calm the horse down. And it's amazing what happens.
You know, you hear about programs like this for children with disabilities. This is the first time I think I've heard about something like this for veterans. Now tell me what types of programs are offered, and is there a cost for veterans?
There's no cost.
Free?
Free. We have a nonprofit foundation, Rising Star Equestrian Foundation, that I started mainly to fund this because I really could not ask them to pay one penny. It's just, they've done enough. So we started the foundation, and it's supported by donors. I mean, that's the only way we can do it is through donations. So we have different programs that we use the horses with. One is therapeutic riding. Okay. They get on, they ride, and it strengthens their muscles, their core muscles, their balance. Many of them, of course, with this traumatic brain injury, have memory issues. They have just a lot of memory issues. So we'll give them patterns to ride that will strengthen their memory. And then they enjoy it as well. I mean, it's recreational therapy too, but they get lots of physical benefits from it. We've also done what I call equine art therapy, where we will put the horse in the grooming area and use finger paints basically, and I will have them paint their story on the horse. And it's combining art therapy with on the horse, and it's really profound what comes out. Usually we clear out the barn, it's quiet, and we just tell them to paint your story on the horse.
Wow. Good
things on one side, the bad things on another, and then when they're done, they get to wash the horse off. So
what have you seen happen, with some of these veterans that go through this program? I mean, what results have you seen?
One in particular, he was a traumatic brain injury, and he had very bad PTSD. The first time he came out, he could not stay in the grooming area where there were more than maybe 5 or 6 people. He had to go around the side of the barn where there was nobody. And so for a couple of times, he would just disappear, and he just couldn't handle being where there was a crowd of people. Then over time, every time he found one of the horses he bonded with, and he would come and go straight to her stall, Then over time we would start moving her out to the grooming area, so he had to come out and he would groom her where there would be a fair amount of people around. And then he would come out on the weekends where we had a lot of children around with our therapeutic riding program. And over time, he just got used to having the kids around and having the noise, and as long as he had the horse there. And then by the end of his time with us, he was volunteering in the therapeutic riding program with us, where he would sidewalk with the kids.
What a blessing.
Yeah, and one of the quotes I remember he told me was, because of this program, I've learned to trust people again and that I can love things again.
Such a gift
it was
to be able to,
really great.
Yeah, between nature and
yeah.
and humans that have gone through such stress. And
it's a safe environment for them. I mean, it's a safe environment for them to face big issues.
Right, right. Now, I'm sure that our viewing audience is interested in helping and maybe even taking part if they're veterans. And so let's give them the details. You see right there on the screen your website, right?
Yep.
AtlantaHorsesForHeroes.org.
Yes.
Can people actually make donations that help the program?
Yes, you can donate through that website.
Okay.
You can contact me. One of my big focuses is to expand the program this year, and I know we have a lot of wounded warriors here in the Atlanta area that don't know we're out there, and that there's help out there, and I'd like to reach out to them and invite them to come out and visit us.
Leslie, great stuff. Thank you so much for being on the show. This is just so encouraging and refreshing to see something like this going on. Now, the Atlanta Horses for Heroes program is at River Run Equestrian, located at 9072 River Run in Sandy Springs. If you're interested, you saw they have the website. You can check them out on Facebook as well. Hey, stay with us. When we come back, a woman who decided to honor veterans 365 days a year, well, her creative invention that supports veterans and others who are confined to wheelchairs. She's going to tell you about that coming up right after the break here on Public Affairs on Peach.